Hello, everyone. I'm Sheldon Barlett Rumor, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. It has been a while, but I have missed my dear friend, and I cannot wait for him to reintroduce himself to all of you, his first and last name, and all he's up to.
Sheldon. I'm, of course, Louis Bezich, men's health advocate, contributing writer to PhillyVoice.com, and, of course, the author of Crack the Code 10 Proven Secrets That Motivate Healthy Behavior in Men Over 50.
Oh,
Good to see you.
so good to see you, my friend. So good to see you. I cannot wait to dive into today's topic. What are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about bouncing back. Now, what
Mm,
do I mean by that? Well, we know from our conversations that leading a healthy lifestyle is really, and sustaining it is a difficult thing to do.
yeah.
Barely 20% of Americans meet the federal guidelines for muscle strengthening and aerobic physical activity. Men are a little bit better than women, but they're still under 30%. So it's a tough thing to do. But what happens when those of us who are the most dedicated, that have those healthy habits, routines, and rituals, get sidetracked by when life throws you a curveball? What do you do?
Ah,
Well, I'm talking about that because that happened to me.
I know.
Yes, the guy who's the gym rat, the exercise geek,
For sure.
was recently sidelined and was forced to kind of go back and think about and reflect on and apply, most importantly, those techniques that I talk about all the time. Time for me to practice what I preach.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. And I think that that is something for people to keep in mind as well. Even if you are adhering to a rhythm, even if you've gotten yourself into a schedule, there's so many things, especially in the human body, that can come up that you need to be able to address. And then be able to bounce back from. I think that the important lesson is
Yes,
that you paid attention to your body, my dear friend, right? You know when something's off.
we try. Yes,
Right, right. How
yes.
important was that in identifying the issue that you had, and then now, again, you're in a space to bounce back. But wasn't it
Sure.
important for you to be aware of if things were aching or things were hurting or things were uncomfortable?
Absolutely. So about 3 months ago, I began to experience some pain in my left leg.
Yeah.
Initially, didn't the pain kind of went away as I jogged and ran, but then it got worse over time. Went to my sports medicine doc. Seemed to be a pulled hamstring, no big deal. Went to physical therapy, but the pain was not going away. In fact, it was getting kind of worse. Went back and said, "Hey, brother, this is there's something more going on here. I'm trying to listen to my body, as you point out." In fact, an MRI showed that I had little tiny, what's called a facet cyst at the lower part of my back, which really is a product of both aging and working out.
Right.
The human body, as we age, sometimes our bones adjust a little bit. And what happens is Mother Nature wants to lubricate those bones, and sometimes that lubricant can ultimately form into a cyst. So, and that was pushing up against the nerve, and that's what was causing the pain in my left leg. So got to a spine surgeon, one of our great spine surgeons here at Cooper University Healthcare, where I work. And just 1 month ago today, had it removed, and happy to say now everything worked out fine. The pain in my left leg is gone. I'm just feeling the after effects of albeit even outpatient surgery. Got out by the end of the day. It was a long day, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., but got out. So now I'm deep into physical therapy, and hopefully in a few more weeks we'll be back to normal. But it really, forced me to look at what can you do, as you point out, to prepare for this, and
Yeah.
then how do we cope with it both physically and mentally as we go through it.
Oh my gosh, I so agree. And I think that we've always talked on the show about making sure that we see our physicians, making sure that we go to our checkups, making sure that we ask the right questions. I mean, a lot of people that are out there that are probably listening and watching have aches and pains and things that they ignore and shake off. And even
Mhm.
when they go to the doctor, we're finding that they don't ask the questions about the thing. They don't want to burden. They don't want to stay there too long. They
Right.
don't want to, get a diagnosis that they don't want to hear. But being proactive is so super important. And I know you reiterated that. But now
Yeah.
about the bounce back, right? Let's talk
Well, the
about
bounce back is that. So here's what I found worked for me.
yeah.
Number one, and I've learned through after I do it, there's a process called rehabilitation or prehab, right? We talk about rehab, which is after the fact, but
Sure.
one of the things you can do to enhance your rehab, enhance the bounce back, is to really do as much as you can before the surgery in my case. So I couldn't run, but I was able to bike, and the doc said it was okay to bike. So I kept my legs limber and loose by doing the bike. I was still able to do the resistance training. So I was on the weights before that, and even did some abs, was able to do that because I found an ab machine that supported my back so I could do that. So I did as much as I could prior to the surgery so that I would sustain that because I knew like I wasn't going to be doing anything for a while,
For
sustain
sure.
that muscle tone, but it also really helps with your recovery and on the back end. So it's one of the things that the experts recommend. Number two really is your attitude, right? Like a lot of things in life, a positive attitude makes a huge difference. So
Yeah.
the experts, because it's easy to get like it's easy to get down and look, oh, look, I'm a creature of habit. Now you're throwing a monkey wrench in my rituals here, like, oh my goodness. But at the end, you can really come out stronger, and so that's key.
Yeah.
And finally, adjusting. What I'm doing now as part of my rehab is taking the stretching and the things that the exercises that I can do from the physical therapist, and I go to the gym now the same time I used to go. Like I get up in the morning, so that component has started again with the doctor's blessing and the therapist's blessing. I just don't do the same things yet as I typically do. So adjusting to the circumstances. So by following those three things, that's my tip to all of the folks out there listening that you can do if, again, Mother Nature throws you a curveball.
If Mother Nature throws you a curveball, I think the ability to be flexible, even the individuals that are most rigid as it relates to what it is that
Yes.
you're doing on a regular basis,
Right.
we create those habits in order to stay fit and adhere
Right.
to that healthy lifestyle that we all deserve. But to know that life happens, right? And it's
Yes.
not always an ailment or an illness. It could be an outside factor, losing your job, all of these different
Absolutely.
things can kind of come into play where you're going to have to make those adjustments, where you're going to have to be a little bit more flexible, but keep your eye on the prize. Was there anything that kept you really motivated within this moment, especially because it could have been, again, something that set you back, something that is like, you know what, I'm not going to go back to my routine. I'm not going to be as stringent anymore. But was that, it was there this kind of North Star that kept you motivated and kept everything moving and slightly positive during these challenging times?
Well, for me, the motivation always starts with those social factors, family, friends, and frankly, being at the point where I enjoyed my workouts and really felt good. It's checking that box at the beginning. In my case, an early morning workout every day just really makes me feel good and feels like I perform better at work and all that kind of stuff. So, wanting to get back to that as soon as I could, again, in a measured, responsible way, following the doctor's orders. But that really kept me going. And that's what spurs, I find, the creative juices to say, okay, I can't do X, but can I do Y?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it worked for me.
Oh my goodness. Well, I absolutely love the fact that you are back at it. We had no doubt. I was like surprised that he wouldn't be recording from a recovery
Yeah.
room at some
Yeah.
point, trying to
We thought
schedule
about
time.
that, but nah,
Writing blogs
exactly.
from the waiting room and being
The
able to
bedside,
take
yeah.
care of it. Well, we're all spoiled because you have such a dedication to being able to help us live a healthier life. And we're happy that you follow the instructions that you give to all of us. And we're fortunate that you continue to help us all move forward in a positive direction. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be back in a groove with you. And we want to make
Absolutely.
sure that everyone out there has your information, that they can follow, fan, and like you. So where's the best place for them to
On
follow?
social media, it's at Louis Bezich. And as you can see on my shoulder, my website, louisbezich.com, you'll see what's going on in my world and keep up to on all my events.
I love it. I love it. We have so many events coming up. We have so many things that we have our dear friend involved in here at This Is It Network, and so many wonderful things that he has going on too. So we're going to make sure you have all of that information. But in the meantime, we're so glad that you stopped by to listen and to watch. From all of us here at This Is It TV, I'm Sheldon Barlett Rumor, and we will see you soon. Take care.